Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. There seems to be more and more cases diagnosed where people are dealing with fatigue, sensitivity to the cold, weight gain, dry skin, swollen neck, and more. And it's traced back to Hashimoto's disease. I just learned that acupuncture can support those symptoms and help people afflicted with that feel so much better. We're going to learn about that today. And she's our expert on that, our professional of the year, and also on Chinese medicine. She's the woman behind Kelly 121 Acupuncture. Dr. Kelly, out of New York City, is back with us. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. And in my circles, more and more friends and family are reporting that they're having those symptoms and or it's traced back to Hashimoto disease. As I understand it, that's a disease that essentially mistakenly attacks the thyroid. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you are right. So basically, people who have a Hashimoto disease, they have some like general common symptoms like fatigue, like always feel tired, low energy, like low back pain, especially after like walking for a long distance, and constipation, and easily wake up. And some people very easily to gain weight, like they feel I don't eat a lot, but I gain weight so easily. And also people may have like a bloating, gassing also. I have like several patients. They all have Hashimoto. They have similar symptoms. So I want to talk about it because acupuncture is very helpful to treat Hashimoto. So they don't have to just rely on the hormone treatment.
So with acupuncture, what's actually taking place? We're not curing it, or are we? Or is it we're taking care of the symptoms?
Well, so in Chinese medicine, let's talk about the low energy. Let's talk about the bloating, gassing, right? So usually when people have low energy, like fatigue, like always feel tired, always have bloating, gassing, leads back to the spleen. We talk about the spleen, right? Spleen transformation, transportation. So when the spleen is kind of like in deficiency, usually the spleen cannot do its job to transform the nutrition into the qi and blood our body can use. Then people kind of like they are low, they are basically deficient in qi and blood. That's why they always feel fatigue. And also because they don't have enough qi and blood. So in Chinese medicine, we kind of like call it the spirit is anchored in the blood. So when you sleep, all the 5 organs have their own spirits. When we sleep, all the spirits should be anchored in the blood to have a rest. But when you do not have enough blood, then it's kind of like the spirit cannot rest. That's why people either have a hard time to fall asleep or they just easily waking up.
What's amazing is I don't think we've done one podcast where you haven't mentioned the spleen. It's so vital that nobody realizes it. It seems to be traced back to almost every challenge, medical challenge that many of us deal with.
I know, like in general, actually yesterday I have a new patient from North Carolina. She's visiting with her family to New York. And she called me and said, Dr. Kelly, my lower back pain just killing me. My family, they went to like a museum or something. I just cannot because my lower back is just so hurt. So can I just come in for today if you have any openings? So I squeezed her in. So then after she came in, we talked about then before she even mentioned she had bloating gassing, I said, you must have bloating and gassing. She said, how do you know? I said, look at your tongue, right? Look at your pulse. You have like a spleen deficiency. That's for sure you have bloating, gassing. That's just a must almost. So then, yeah, then of course she talked about her constipation. I said this all linked to the root. Spleen deficiency. Of course, she also had kidney deficiency. That's why, like actually in her back of the tongue, there's the indentation. I took a picture of her tongue and I showed her. I said, look, on the back of your tongue, there's the indentation. So that is the indicator of the kidney is deficient. That's why usually people have low back pain. And this kind of low back pain is different with the people who is not had low back pain because of kidney deficient. Because if people like the tongue or the back is not doesn't have an indentation, it could be from like blood stasis, like they went to gym, they just did some heavy lifting. So that kind of lower back pain is different with the deficient kidney lower back pain. So that's why after she walking, the lower back worse. Like she couldn't, continue.
Wow. What just to ease what people may be thinking, and again, many avoid acupuncture for fear of needles and all of that. Just going to repeat, the needles for acupuncture are so fine like a hair. We've discussed, no discomfort, if any. You might feel a little something, if that. And that's not even all the time. For Hashimoto's disease, where are you placing the needles? How many typically? Or does it really depend on a case-by-case situation?
So back to the root, right? So Hashimoto disease usually because like spleen deficient, kidney deficient, right? So in general, we need to tonify the spleen, tonify the kidney. So I will give a lot of tonify point. Like for example, tonify kidney, we can use the one on the ankle. That's a very good point to tonify kidney. We can use a point on our leg right below the knee, like, to tonify the spleen, to get rid of some dampness. We can use a point on the stomach, on the lower belly to tonify qi and blood, make them stronger. We can use the point behind the ear to make them have better sleep. We can have a point even like on the upper arm here to help about the constipation. So we can have a point over here to give them more energy. So the points can be everywhere in our body, can be anywhere, but of course, every point have their own function to tonify the qi and blood, or to tonify the spleen, or tonify kidney. There are so many points we can use. So that's a very beautiful thing.
Wow. Do you often encounter, and this is outside of Hashimoto's disease, but ties back into it. Dr. Kelly, do you often find that you'll work with somebody because they have a challenge and you use acupuncture, and do they come back and report other things got better? For example, let's say they didn't tell you that they had constipation, but maybe it cropped up a little bit here and there more often than normal. Maybe it's not even connected to what you were originally treating, but they report, yeah, everything's better now. I don't know. I'm surprised. Does that happen a lot?
Oh, that happens a lot. Like, for example, I mentioned like the girl came in for floaters. So she had floaters, although she's very young, she's only 20 something, but because of the LASIK surgery, she became have floaters like
Yes.
this.
Sure.
Yeah, but I treated her. She said her period was delayed, but right after treatment, her period came, and she didn't even tell me. So she was so happy. She said, "Dr. Kelly, you're amazing."
I didn't even know the whole floater thing. Yeah, after LASIK surgery, for a period of time, you can see just, call it white light dots and things like that. And also sensitivity to at night when you're driving. A lot of people report halos and things like that. I didn't even know that acupuncture could relieve some of that.
Oh yeah, it's very helpful. She is very happy actually. She had a very busy job in a big bank, but she come in every week because she said after treatment she definitely feel the floater getting like smaller and
Oh.
the days getting like much less. So the floater getting really, really small, doesn't really affect her that much. So she's like very dedicated to the treatment.
So we went down a different road here in terms of floaters. I'm intrigued. Didn't know that the acupuncture could even support that. But what is causing that particular issue? And you could have them without even having LASIK. Some people just report seeing, to the side, white dots and things like that. Um, what essentially is causing those, and what are you doing with acupuncture to get rid of them or decrease them?
Oh yeah, actually, let's back to spleen again. So usually people have floaters, spleen. If people spleen have some like deficiency, usually these kind of people have some dampness. So it's like in the eye, the dampness kind of like accumulate, like form the floaters. So of course we have local points. Like for example, I use some local points, just the inner corner of the eye. But I can use a digital point like right over here. Like so people don't have to be really like worried it's so close to the eye. This point can be very helpful to floaters or any like eye discomfort, like pain in the eye or you know like the villain like blurry villain or like you said like at night kind of like have some halos. Yeah, it's very helpful. So you don't have to worry about it if you don't want the I if you really worry about the eye point, yeah, we can use digital points. But you know the points on the eye actually can serve also as a facial rejuvenation point. So you may feel your eyes getting like
Ah,
brighter and bigger.
wow. Is there, again, we mentioned the spleen. Is there things that we can do in terms of even herbals to support the spleen?
Yes, there are a lot of herbal formula to serve to tonify the spleen. Actually, like yesterday, I gave some herb to this patient because she's not local. So I gave her some herb. I said, take this herb because this herb can tonify your spleen, tonify your kidney. So can, treat your bloating, gassing, and lower back pain. And at the meantime, can, make your constipation getting better, your sleep better. Yes, so she's very happy. And I also give that herb to other patients before. They also feel very helpful. So
Hmm.
yes.
Which herb is that?
It's herb called well, it's in Chinese called 脾肾双柱丸. So 脾 basically spleen, 肾 is kidney, 双 means double, 柱 means half, 丸 is pill. Basically, double half spleen and kidney pill.
Wow. Wow. So you know what? Now we've turned the car a little bit here in the discussion in another direction of herbals and things like that. This not necessarily being an herbal. Can you tell us anything about magnesium?
Yes, actually, a lot of people they take magnesium or other supplement, to help about sleep or even other problem. But again, Chinese medicine never really recommend people to take single herbs. Same thing as the supplement. I don't really suggest people to take supplement because one you like that supplement usually is not really natural, right? It's kind of like,
Mm,
chemical.
yep.
That's one thing. Second thing, it's not like a formula. Formula we have some, even like for people who are deficient. For example, this Hashimoto patient, they are deficient in kidney, they are deficient in spleen. We're gonna tonify them. But even we want to tonify them. That's the main function of the formula, but in the formula, there will be some herbs actually to clear some deficient heat. So not all the herbs are tonifying, but for the supplement, magnesium or whatever, or zinc, it's like single herb. You have only one function. So it's not like you can tonify, you can sedate, you can clear some heat, you can give you more qi and blood. It's not like that. That's why I don't really suggest people to take supplement.
Mm.
And so I want to give you a true story, actually. It happened in China many, many years ago. In China, many years ago, there is king. They usually have like the best doctors surrounded him every day, right? They have the best chef cook the best meal for him. But one time this king got the skin problem. She has kind of like a lot to kind of like acne or whatever in his skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's itching and it's bother him. So all the doctors in the kingdom like prescribe some herbs for him. But no herbs can help him. He still have the skin problem. So then one day he came out of the kingdom. He went to just countryside. He like, I'm not the king. I'm just a normal person. He went to a clinic, a very small clinic. He talked to a Chinese medicine doctor, said, I have this problem. Can you help me? Because the doctor didn't know he's the king, right? So the doctor looked at him and said, oh, you just ate too much good stuff. Like you need to clear that out. So he prescribed some herbs to clear that out. And so the king really recovered. So he's very happy. So, but the point is why the doctor in the kingdom cannot help him, but the doctor in the countryside can help him. Because in the kingdom, because he's the king, right? Everybody like respect him, like worship him, like so they give him the herbs, have a lot of tonifying herbs because he's the king, right? They want to use the expensive herbs. But the herbs who are like a clearing heat, detoxifying, they are like cheap. So the doctor don't want to prescribe that kind of herb because he's the king. That's why he cannot get it like recover. But the countryside doctor doesn't know he was the king, so
Wow.
so that
What a great story. So it's more of they didn't want to give the king just the common items because he
yes,
was the king. So let's
exactly.
give him the best of the best doesn't mean that's going to work well.
Yes, yes,
And to your point, all the herbals that I've used have always been a formula. It's never been just one. It's
exactly.
even with and digestion issues, maybe reflux or just gastritis and things like that, worked beautifully. And that was a combination of marshmallow root, catnip, and cat's claw. Amazing. Like I felt relief in 2 days. And there was one point, almost 2 years ago, I almost went to the hospital. It was so bad. And I took that remedy in 2 days. I felt fantastic. Like I never had an issue. Stuff works, but yeah, to your point, I can't think of anything that I've used in herbal medicine that was just one item. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's why you asked me about supplement. That's why I said first for me, I don't take any supplement. Like I don't suggest any people take supplement either because doesn't matter what kind of problem. When you come to a Chinese medicine doctor, we can always root back to all your spleen or your kidney, your stomach, right? So in that way, there is no just one supplement can treat this.
So I'm going to ask, and I don't know if this would be considered a supplement, but has been popular for years, and there's always a lot of positivity surrounding it. But fish oil, quality fish oil, would you suggest somebody take that?
Um, Also kind of like no, because basically fish oil have a lot of vitamin E, right? Kind of like, make your blood moving more smoother, give you a lot of vitamins. Um, but sometimes some people over taking it, their blood have a very hard time to congeal. Like if they bleeding, it's a very hard time to stop.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't really. I mean, if you want to just get some omega fat 3, just eat salmon. You don't have to take the supplement, just eat salmon. So that's why when people ask me about the diet recommendation, I always say have a balanced diet. You don't have to just eat meat or just grain or just vegetable. Eat a little bit of everything. You can have some salmon, you can have some meat, have some chicken, have some vegetables. Don't just do one thing extremely. Some people like, I don't eat meat. I think meat is bad. No, it depends what kind of condition you have. Meat is not bad. To some people, they need it, especially like for people who want to have a baby. I mean, if they have qi and blood deficiency, these people may be good to take some meat. So have a balanced meal is the best always. Of course, if you are allergic to something, that's another thing.
So to your point, fish oil, I've taken it and got a nosebleed because it thins the blood. So apparently I was taking too much, so I cut back on the dosage, and then it was all good. I've found benefits though. Aside from the say cardiovascular support with fish oil and the better, for your brain and functioning and thinking. I found complexion was better. But then again, I've learned from you. All that stuff's taken care of with acupuncture, especially complexion. Your skin can look better with acupuncture. Who would ever think? But you've even shared it's sometimes can be better than Botox in terms of what it does within smoothing the face. And on the meat side of things, I've found in as time goes on that I'll eat meat, but not as much as often because I found that hard to digest. Like it's just, you can feel it sitting there. It takes a long, long time for it to go through your system. And I guess too much of anything is not a good thing.
Yes, yes. That's why, balance is the key of Chinese medicine. Balance. Not too much. No, too cold, too hot. No, not good. And I want to mention one thing is, like you said, when people, for example, had like late dinner, so next day in the morning, I wouldn't say you push, like for example, like parents, right? They love their kid, they always want their kids to eat. But if you had a late dinner, please don't push your kid to eat because they say, "Oh, I'm not hungry." If you're like, "No, no, no, eat, eat, eat," that's maybe not a good thing to the kids because if the food haven't really digested because late, then if you eat another meal on top of it, you may have food stagnation. The kids may like throw up or they may have food like a stomach pain or something. So when you have a late
Mm.
dinner, if you don't feel hungry, don't push yourself or your family member to eat.
Fair enough. And all of us, not just kids, we're so scheduled. Even if we ate late, you wake up first thing in the morning. Now you're in your routine. Some people have a cup of coffee. Now I'm going to grab a bagel because that's what I always do. But eat when you're hungry. If you're not hungry, don't eat. You'll know when you need to. Good. Great advice. Great advice, Dr. Kelly. You're available in New York City, Kelly121acupuncture.com. Certainly you have to be on location in the city for acupuncture, but everything else we're talking about can be done virtually through consultation and sessions. But go to the website. Best way to reach Dr. Kelly. Thank you again for all the insight. These podcasts have been fantastic. With everything, it's opened my eyes to so much, and I was already on board. For herbal, I've got herbal medicine sitting over there. I still learn so much from you, and I appreciate that. Thank you, and happy holidays to you and your family too.
Thank you, Steve. Happy holiday to you and your family too.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.